Sunrise on a Saturday, I'm headed out to the lake, just my buddy and me. Got my boat hooked up to my Chevy truck. I'm running high on luck, I ain't ever coming down. Time to back the boat down the ramp again. Do everything we can to come back in with a winning side. That's the life of a fisherman you wouldn't understand. Something you can't feel on dry land. You gotta get your arms way up in a cage and set the hook on the smallmouth bass, and then you'll understand. You gotta get your hands on a Shimano reel and a G-loom that's trying to bet you like what you feel. Step on the deck and give to the world. Hello and welcome to my world.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to this episode of On Another Line Live. Hey, Chuck Dotson, what's up, brother? Thanks for joining us tonight. Looks like you guys have been hammering them out there. I appreciate that. The photos and stuff you guys have been posting them up. Guys, if you guys are looking for a walleye charter captain, look no further than Chuck Dotson there at Get Hooked Charters. First and foremost, tonight's episode is brought to you by Solar Bat Sunglasses and Odyssey Batteries. Two things that I absolutely count on the water on a daily basis is my sunglasses to keep my eyes protected and allow me to see the fish, as well as Odyssey batteries to get me out on the water more and keep me out there longer. They are phenomenal batteries made with virgin lead, and smaller plates allow for more power in the same body style or the same form factor as a normal battery. So tonight, have a really special episode for you guys out there that may not be into the bass fishing world as much. Maybe you like to pan fish and do some things like that. We have Kyler Beckmann coming on from Lake of the Ozarks in that area. He goes out and catches some slab crappies. This dude is a hammer fishing the American Crappie Trail. Just fished the national championship there, I believe. I'll let him talk to you guys about that. But without further ado, I'm going to bring Kyler in. If you guys have a question or anything about crappie or anything we're talking about, drop them below and we'll get them out to you. So without further ado, hey, Kyler, what's going on, brother? You doing all right?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Just got home from Sardis, Mississippi, and actually getting ready to head up to Kentucky Lake and fish the opener down there. We just got done with the national championship, and we're going to Kentucky Lake to fish the opener.
Sweet. So you're like, that's only about, I mean, it's a little far from me, but it's about 5 hours from me, I guess, the Kentucky Lake is. Hey, Chris Morrow, what's up, brother? Hope you guys are out there. So give me the rundown of a crappie tournament. I'm sure it's basically like a bass tournament, but do you guys get away in 5 fish, more than that? How's it work?
So we weigh in 7 fish. And like this year, things are changing quite a bit with the American Crappie Trail. We're going to 30 days off limits. So you can't go on the body of water for no reason whatsoever for 30 days before the official practice time, which for official practice, we get like 4 days, and then we fish a 2-day tournament. And so, I mean, that's pretty much how it goes. Oh, and then we're doing blast offs this year, finally. So, I mean, it's all kind of evolving into that, bass tournament style. We're doing blast offs now, so that's really good. It just keeps everything really level and fair. It's a really level playing field now.
That's awesome. Yeah, like I said, I was talking to you the other day. You took Corey Weaver out from JB's Fish Sauce, and I was jealous as heck. I'd love to get out there and catch some crappie with you, and I still haven't rolled it out, man, to be honest with you. Maybe, I don't know what the summertime fishing like is on Lake of the Ozarks there.
Oh, it's good.
That's where you're at, right? Lake of the Ozarks?
Yep, Lake of the Ozarks.
That's your home lake?
That's my home lake.
That's cool. So, again, we're just talking about this episode here about finding, slab crappie or crappie in general in the summertime. I'll give you my extent of my knowledge of crappie fishing, and that is I like to find crappie in the spring and the fall. I usually find them, my limited knowledge is that they school up around timber and stuff like that in those two periods.
Yeah.
But my biggest thing is I love to eat crappie, and they're super fun to catch. But if the water is warm, I can't catch them. So give me some tips about where I can find some big crappie in the summertime.
The biggest thing with summertime, it's the same as your post spawn pattern. Crappie love, especially white crappie, love wood. Now your black crappie, they'll congregate around some rock and stuff too. But like a white crappie, he loves wood. So if you're in the summertime, you're looking for typically deeper structure usually, anywhere from, which I mean, you catch them shallow too in some lakes. Water clarity has a lot to do with that, if you're going to find them shallow or not. But to give you an example, down at Sardis, Mississippi, which it was way different than what I thought it was going to be. I figured that the water clarity would be pretty dirty, and it wasn't. It was really, really clear. And so we actually found fish 26 foot deep is where I was catching them at, around trees and brush piles and stuff like that. So anytime in the summertime, you want to try to find some kind of wood, whether it be a standing tree or a lay down or something like that. And typically, like maybe, and it depends day by day. Some days they like to be like around that old existing channel, and some days they'll be out like on a flat adjacent to that channel. It just kind of varies day by day. But I mean, that's pretty much the gist of it, for, summertime patterns is you're looking for wood.
Yeah, that's cool. So Christopher Morrow wants to know, do all lakes have the same size limit for crappie?
No. Nope. Every lake's different. Every lake all around, everywhere I've been is different. Well, Lake of the Ozarks, the limit is 15 per person and 9 inches long. And down in Mississippi, the limit is, I can't remember the creel limit, but the length limit, though, is it has to be over 12 inches. Not 12 inches, it has to be over 12 inches. That's cool. So it's different everywhere.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you mentioned finding fish at 26 foot deep. So my idea of crappie fishing is with a slip bobber and a jig. Is that what you guys are catching them on there in that deep?
No. We use, which I don't know. Have you guys heard about the new like Garmin Live Scope? Because that's pretty much changed the crappie world.
Yeah, we've been talking about that on the show for quite a while, and it's one of those things that I've determined that I don't know that I'll ever be able to afford. But I think it's an absolute game changer. Like I think that if you don't want to have one on your boat fishing for any species, that you're putting yourself at a disadvantage. So
I'll tell you, like, if you're a guy that just wants to go out and catch a mess of crappie to eat, you don't need it. I mean, I'm being completely honest. You don't need that to go out and catch you a mess of crappie to eat. You can use, like, up until, the last year and a half, 2 years, if I'm fun fishing right here around home, I can find fish out deep like that. And I do it old school. I'll go across and use side imaging or down imaging or whatever you have. It doesn't really matter. As long as you can see the bottom and you understand what you're looking at on that screen, you can take a buoy, or anything, and throw it out over the top of it and turn back around and use some 10-foot poles or even a 7-foot rod and cast to it or whatever you need to do and let that bait fall down in there and you can catch fish. But as far as tournament fishing goes for crappie, if you don't have the Garmin Live Scope, I mean, honestly, like, you have to have it to compete anymore, because you can go around and target the bigger fish. I mean, you can see them. It's insane. But for anyone that's wanting to go out and just catch them a mess of fish to eat, I recommend this. How I've always done, just graph out a section of lake that you're wanting to fish. Creek arms are always good to find crappie in. I mean, they love creek arms. And like I said, start around the channel and work your way over on some flats and try to find some kind of brush pile or man-made structure. Or if you have timber in your lake, look for that and then mark that and then throw a buoy out over it and turn back around. Like what I always do is I'll usually start off as I'm working my way up to it by taking a 7-foot rod and I bass fished a long time ago, so that's where I picked up, like a lot. I have a little bit of different techniques than some guys, but I'll throw a 16th ounce jig or an 1/8 ounce jig on a 7-foot spinning rod and throw it out there, let it fall down in there, and try to get one to bite as I'm working my way up to it. When I get up to it, then I'll switch over and grab 2 10-foot rods and hold them vertically over the structure and catch them that way. But
so on, I guess most sport fish, you can have 2 rods in the water at the same time legally, correct? Or is it more than that?
So yeah, with crappie fishing, it's actually about everywhere we go, you can have typically 3 rods per person. In which I don't know if you guys have ever heard about spider rigging, but see that was a huge thing up until the live scope has kind of taken over now. Now a lot of guys aren't spider rigging no more. Now they're going back to a single pole in their hand.
Yeah, I get you. So I got a comment here on my end. It says, really enjoy your Yatesville Lakes videos. Thanks for doing them. Guys, that's no problem. Yatesville Lake is my home lake. Actually, I won't say it's my home lake. I live in Ohio. Yatesville's in Kentucky, obviously. But if you like those videos, stay tuned because there's another one coming tomorrow. I'm headed out to Yatesville. Hopefully I catch a few out there. So I appreciate you. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I appreciate it if you would. So if you're talking about spider rigging, that's where you see a boat that has like 5 or 6, 7, 10 rods hanging off the front of the deck, right?
Yeah, typically 6 to 8 is what a lot of guys run. Corey, I took him spider rigging, and we mashed him. It was fun. But,
yeah, I saw the pictures. Like I said, I was jealous as heck, man. I was like green with envy over here. So crappie, what's your personal best?
As far as size wise?
Yeah, I mean weight or length.
So on Lake of the Ozarks, my personal best is 17 inches. And then weight wise, I don't know. Somewhere probably 280, kind of what I'm guessing.
Yeah, I mean that's a keeper size bass from where I'm from.
Yeah, I chase the little boogers all over the country. But I love
it.
it.
So do you shoot docks, or you mainly fish deep?
Yeah. I shoot a lot of docks here at home. That's what I grew up doing, was bass fishing and shooting docks for crappie, and crappie just kind of took me over, and so I started expanding my knowledge on different techniques on how to catch them. But shooting docks is definitely my favorite way to catch crappie. It's to me, it's the most fun.
Yeah, I'm sure that takes some years of practice, because I could see myself burying a 1/0 hook or whatever you guys using in my finger quite often doing that.
Yeah, it happens. You only do it a couple times, you won't do it again.
Yeah, I guarantee it. As with most stuff that hurts you, is like touching hot stuff. Like, I bet you won't do that again. Like, no, not. Yep. I hope not. That's cool, man. So Lake of the Ozarks, I've never been there. It's a pretty giant lake, I hear. I'd say, isn't it? Fairly large.
Yeah, it's a long lake. Somewhere like right around 90 miles. Is how long it is from dam to dam.
That's a substantial lake. I'm trying to think if we have anything around here that's even close to that big.
We have more shoreline than California.
Yeah, I mean, so I guess this begs the question. It has nothing to do with fishing, so excuse me for this, but do you watch the Netflix series Ozarks?
I've seen, I've seen it.
So is there anything in that show that you actually recognize?
Well, actually, a lot of the shooting took place down in Georgia for that show.
Really?
Yep, that's what I found out, because I was looking at a lot of the shots that they had of it, and I was like, that's not a lake. Never seen that, because I've been about everywhere on Lake of the Ozarks. I didn't recognize any of it. And then, come to find out, a lot of that was shot on Georgia, or down in Georgia somewhere at some lake.
Yeah, well, that makes sense then, because that's normally how it happens. It was funny, a totally different story here, but I just found out that there was a movie about a boxer shot in my hometown, and like I watched it the other day, and it's like, it's amazing, it's crazy, like everything, like they were shooting episodes in like a bar that I play music at and stuff. It was like, it was creepy.
Oh, man, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, so what's the bass fishing like down there at Lake of the Ozarks? Probably pretty good.
Really good. It's really good, actually. the thing about Lake of the Ozarks is that, man, it fishes like pretty much 3 different kind of lakes, because you have, obviously the low end down around the dam, it's really deep. And then you have the upper end, which I spend a lot of time on the upper end. That's more of a river system. And then the middle, that's just kind of like I don't know, maybe a typical lake. I'm not really sure, but all 3 places fish different. Like deep for me up here on the upper end of the lake is 10 foot. Deep down the low end of the lake's like 80 feet. It's fun.
Wow, that is really cool.
Bass fishing is really good no matter where you go on this lake. They relate to current, they relate to all sorts of stuff. I mean, it's good.
Yeah, so you mentioned wow. So you mentioned there a little while ago the black crappie versus the white crappie. And you say that the black crappie relate to rock and stuff more in the summertime, whereas the white crappie relate to wood and stuff like that. Do you find that they're different to catch? Like, do you have to do like different techniques to catch those different species, or are they just pretty much where you set up to catch them?
You can use primarily the same techniques. It's just kind of where you're fishing for them at. Because not very often can you pull up to a spot and catch a black and a white crappie together consistently all the time. Just, one after another. Catch a black one, they catch a white one. They catch a black one, they catch a white one. Typically they're going to be split up. I mean, there's times where you'll pull up to a brush pile and you'll catch a bunch of white crappie and you'll catch a black crappie in there. But if you want to consistently go out and catch a mess of black crappie or a mess of white crappie, you have to kind of look for different things. A lot of times, and especially in southern lakes, the black crappie will be really shallow all the time. You can find them super, super shallow, like a couple feet.
Yeah, so I'm sure on the crappie trail you have to use artificial baits. So when you go out just fun fishing, are you like packing are you like nonchalantly packing a cooler full of crappie minnows out there? I mean, you could tell us.
No, I don't ever carry minnows with me, hardly ever. Now, a lot of the trails, well, besides like the Wally Marshall tournament coming up, it's the Crappie Expo is what he calls it, and this year it's $200,000 purse in it. It's a big deal. They're trying to make it kind of like the Bassmaster Classic, and last year was the first year of it, and it's artificial only. And but so far, actually, all the other professional trails, they still allow you to use minnows. But I think it's on the outs. There's a lot of, the only way we can grow is that they get rid of that. And like, Wally, he's already done it. You can't use minnows in his deal, which I'm for it. I want them to get rid of it. I want them to just have artificial only.
I get you there 100%, man. That's cool. Like I that shocks me now that you mentioned that you can actually still use minnows in the tournament trail. But how old is the crappie fishing like tournament side of things? I'm sure there's been crappie tournaments forever, but as far as like sanctioned like pro level events, is that something that's fairly new, like 10 years or less, or has it been going on forever?
Yeah, it's I would say probably 15 years and less, and they've gotten really good the last 4 years. Since the American Crappie Trail has come out, they have really changed. They've changed everything as far as true professionalism tournament angling for crappie fishermen. It's pretty special.
That's cool, man. Like I said, I like all fishing as well as I think everybody does, especially if you're on the level you and I are, where we're fishing. I don't know what I'd say. Your schedule's about like mine. You're on the water, 2 or 3 days a week at least, whenever you can get out, if not more. So when you put that much time and effort into something, I like to, it doesn't matter what what's biting. If I'm out there having fun, I'm catching fish, I'm all about it. Obviously, I want to target bass, but like I said, I like table fare as well. My two favorite fish on the planet to eat is walleye being number one, and then crappie being a very close second. And from what I understand, I think they're in the same family. It's that and perch and all those are in the same basically family. So it's probably why I like them that well. So So I won't keep you on here a ton longer, but a couple questions that's kind of burning in my mind is if you were to pick one bait to go fishing with for crappie, no matter what time of year, what would it be?
One bait for crappie. I'll show you because I dug around and found one bait that I am very, very partial to. It's a Jinko tickle fry. Where's my camera at? There it is. And it's kind of like a mini swim bait is what it is. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's got a little paddle tail on it.
Yep.
And I love that bait. I love natural colors. You see some of these crappie guys, they get pretty wild on their colors. I like natural. Natural is, to me, I think it's best. I mean, I have more faith in something that looks natural than I do something wild looking. And then, but yeah, I mean, that's pretty much my go-to bait is that right there. It's a Jinko tickle fry in the dirty milk color. And then, of course, I always put JB's fish sauce on it.
Yeah, the old waxworm. That's Kyler's signature blend there. Again, if you guys get tired of me preaching about JB's fish sauce, but I had Brandon Buckner, dude that I've met through my show, lives here recently, just picked up some of my new pinch of garlic and caught 17 fish the other day on it. So, the stuff works. Kyler could tell you that, if you're into the crappie side of things, yours is the waxworm, correct?
Yep, waxworm
blend there. So go over and check it out, jbsfishsauce.com. Kyler, I appreciate you joining us tonight, man. It's been fun talking some crappie with you. And obviously, anytime you want to be back on talking some crappie, especially if you're going to be out on the water on a Tuesday or something, let me know. We'll get you back home.
Sounds good, buddy.
All right, man. We'll get out there and lean on them, bud. I'll see you later.
Yep. See you guys.
So again, guys, that is Kyler Beckmann. Go over and check him out on YouTube. Actually on Facebook, Kyler Beckmann. That's KylerBeckmann. Kyler Beckmann. At this time, guys, I want to take a short momentary break to talk to you guys about the subscribers on YouTube that I just recently picked up. If you guys don't know, I have a contest running until midnight tomorrow, I believe. Actually, I'm going to extend it one day on Thursday because I don't know when I posted it last week. That if I get to 2,000 subscribers, I'm going to pick somebody randomly from my subscriber list and send them a bottle of pinch of garlic, JB's fish sauce. This is the only spray bottle known to man right now, pinch of garlic, and it could be yours. But there is a stipulation. I have to get to 2,000 subscribers by midnight tomorrow. Let's do midnight Thursday. Right now, guys, I'm about 35 away from that, so that's still easily reachable, but I have a short-term goal of 2,000 subscribers on YouTube by the end of this week. I'm hoping I'm gaining about 80 per week. I need to boost that a lot. I'm gaining several, and I appreciate you guys joining and subscribing, but one of the things is I have a long-term goal of 5,000 subscribers by the end of this summer or the end of the fishing season, so October-ish. If I do not get 5,000 subscribers, I am going to take a hiatus probably forever from the YouTube side of things. I spent a lot of time doing it. I'm still going to fish. I'm still going to produce videos. I'm not going to hammer down on it like I do right now, producing 2 a week. But I have a long-term goal this season of 5,000 subscribers, and I need your help. So with that being said, the latest subscribers, thank you guys for joining us. Let's start here with Dwight Ketterman, Jonathan Schwab, Dat Gia, Patriot J Fishing, Habitat 42, Philip Vang, Kingley 88, Bob Finch, Craig Lukens, Kyle Maddox, Fran Duncan, Lonica Bells. Sorry if I'm mispronounced any of them, guys. Sorry. Brandon Payton, John Caprice, Edelberto Nato, Joe Ramsey. So, guys, thank you. That's the latest subscribers in the past few days. I appreciate you guys coming aboard. Also, those of you guys that didn't hear your name announced there and you subscribed, I appreciate and thank you guys, too. One, if you didn't hear your name announced, it's probably because they have you have your privacy set up. Hey, Bill Hall, what's up, buddy? Thanks for joining us tonight. And again, guys, I'm right now producing some videos trying to get to 2,000 subscribers. So if you would get your friends and family, tell them a little white lies. Like, man, this guy actually knows what he's doing, and he catches some fish, has fun doing it, creates some cool videos, never hurt anybody, right? So I got a lot more videos coming out. This week alone, I'm heading to Yatesville Lake tomorrow fishing. There'll be a video hopefully tomorrow night about that. Actually, probably going to wait till Thursday to release that. And then this weekend, I am going to be producing some major content that you guys will see in the next few weeks, and that's going to be a Lake St. Clair smash down. I'm super pumped up about this trip. Kyle and I are headed on I'm going to his house in Dayton on Thursday. We're getting up super early on Friday, going to drive there, get there when daylight at the lake, fish daylight to dark, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then come home Sunday night. And I know without a shadow of a doubt, we're going to catch the fish, and we're going to get some awesome footage. I have, those of you guys have been following along with me in the past few weeks realize that I had some crazy issues with my GoPros. This is a GoPro Hero 8 Black, the most expensive, most high-tech camera that they have out right now. And I am here to tell you, with the technology side of things, I want to tell you bigger is not always better. Best is not always what you want. First and foremost, David Howard, are you doing something on Erie? I am not planning on going to Erie yet. I will be going to Erie to do some walleye fishing with Chuck Dotson and get hook charters here before the summer's over. I potentially am going to bring my bass boat with me. That way I can fish in the evening, because, guys, Chuck puts you on the meat, man. You're usually, tapped out, limited out by noon. So it gives me a lot of time to go out there. I hope to get out on the water, but right now I have nothing planned as of yet. But what I mentioned a second ago was the GoPro Hero 8. Guys, at this time, I cannot tell you to go out and buy a GoPro Hero 8. Literally, I have been the most frustrated in my entire life as I was. I haven't been as much frustrated with a camera as I have been with these things. Those of you guys that know me know that I use the YOLO stick, Power Stick, or the YOLO Tech, Power Stick 53. This is another GoPro Hero 8 that's powered by the nav port of my boat through the YOLO Tech series Power Stick. This thing is a phenomenal product. I've never had a problem with the YOLO Tech Power Stick, but recently these GoPro Hero 8s, what's happening is when I start them up, if there's not a battery in it, which normally you pull the battery out of the GoPros when you have them powered externally. That way you can actually check out, or it actually doesn't overheat the device. And also what happens is if your charge port on whatever you're charging this thing with, or whatever you have it externally powered to, if it's not like 2 amps, it actually the battery will drain faster than it charges. So your camera will actually constantly go off and on. What I was finding is I was turning these cameras on with no battery in it, and I was just hitting record, and it would look like it was recording. However, what it was doing was there was a crazy thing here on the back that said the date and time needed to be reset. I don't know. Normally on electronic devices like this, they have what's known as CMOS batteries in them, which is complementary metal oxide semiconductors. But basically what it does is it keeps it powered all the time, so it keeps the date and time and all your settings correct. I don't know if the batteries in these things are bad, if they don't have that or what, but if that thing comes up on the back and it says set date and time, if you don't set the date and time, or at least hit OK on it, what will happen is it'll look like it's recording, but it won't save data to the SD card. It is very, very frustrating. Eric Pleasant says, shout out my YouTube. Brother, put it in the comments, and I'll stick it up there. I don't want to screw it up. I don't want to get people headed your way the wrong way. So you drop in a comment, I'll be there. So James Cameron Wilt, what's up, brother? If you guys are just now joining us, James will be joining us next Tuesday. He hit me up on some on social media there the other day, or actually today. We're going to have him on there. We'll talk about some bass fishing and talk about a new pro bass angling organization and tournament trail that's coming up and that's up and coming. So we will check him out next week. And you're right, it's hard to beat the good old Hero 4s. I have a 4 silver that I absolutely love. I really like it. If I were to tell you guys what to buy right now, I would buy a 7 probably. Would probably be what I'd buy. The game changer for that is that anything from the 5 up, you have voice commands. And my setup with this power stick. I'm going to have another power stick that's going to be on the front of my boat very soon. I'm going to pick that up as soon as I get back from St. Clair. But I'm going to have one of those on the front of my boat, on the back of my boat, and I will have a chesty camera and potentially this camera here suction cup to someplace on my boat. A lot of cameras running at the same time. What that gives you the benefit of doing is saying GoPro stop recording, and the GoPros will stop. If they're all in earshot of you, they will all stop at the same time. Once they stop, you can say GoPro start recording, and it actually will start again. If you're using the looping feature of GoPros, it is phenomenal to do that. I told you guys on previous episodes, I'm looking at different cameras that I'm going to be using, and I'm looking at a DJI Osmo Action, which I've got a lot of DJI products at this time. I have a DJI Mavic 2 Zoom drone that is absolutely, hands down, the best drone I've ever flown in my life. It is phenomenal. I love the DJI products. I've had zero problems with them, but that's going to be where I go. I can't recommend those products to you right now because I've never used an Osmo Action. However, one cool thing that they do have voice commands on them as well, and what you gain from that the GoPro does not have is on the front of the camera of the Action, the Osmo Action, it actually has an LCD screen so you can frame up the shot from the look of looking at the front of the camera, which to do that with a GoPro, you have to pull out your iPhone or your phone. So there it is, Eric Pleasance, the Project Haven. Guys, Eric is one of my high school students. If you guys enjoy some skits as well as a podcast going on, basically vlogs about stuff that happens in and around the community and in the life of a high school student, check him out. He would appreciate a few subscribers. So with that being said, guys, I've been on here for about 31 minutes. If you guys have any questions, drop some comments here in the next 5 minutes. I'm going to hop off here. Again, if you guys are just now joining the channel, go over to jbsfishsauce.com. Check out the Pinch of Garlic, which is my signature blend of JB's fish sauce. It's called Pinch O Garlic. And again, Brandon Buckner bought some the other day. I know a couple of my buddies have already picked it up. I've been using it for about 2 months now. I've been product testing it for a while. I've caught a lot of fish on it. It does really, really work. Again, tonight I want to, obviously remind you guys that tonight's show is brought to you by Solar Bat Sunglasses and Odyssey Batteries. Solar Bat Sunglasses is one of my favorite products on the market because it simply is some of the best sunglasses I've used in my entire life. They have some phenomenal tints on their lenses. You can find a lens for pretty much any scenario. If you guys are looking for bass fishing, especially in grass and stuff, check out the Moss back lens. You will not be disappointed. And the Odyssey batteries, guys. Odyssey batteries, I cannot thank them enough. They actually hooked me up with an entire set of batteries. They're at the beginning of last fishing season. And I've been having some issues with batteries off and on. I had Deca, I had Interstate, I've had pretty much them all. And the issue is that when you start my motor, it would draw too much amperage and my graphs would freeze. So I cleaned all the connections. Everybody said it's corroded connections. So I cleaned them all. I done everything you could possibly do. Wire brushed them, put new hardware on there, re-spliced the ends of them, make sure there was no connections no wild connections between that and my graphs. And it actually come down to the fact that once I put these three 2150s in there, which is they're crazy, dude. They're the craziest batteries I've ever seen. And I put them in there and I never have that problem again. I've run both live wells all day long, plus powering 5 GoPros normally, or at least 4, depending on that, from different places. My Yolatech, 2 from the console, 1 from the front, and usually 1 on a boom. But I've done that. I've ran all 4 of my aerators and bilge pumps for my live wells, and 2 6-inch graphs, which don't draw that much amperage I get, but I've never had that problem again. They are a little more heavy than most batteries, but the Odyssey PCM 2150s are the absolute berries. There it is. Don't take my word for it. Northern Illinois Public Safety Fishing Association throwing it out there. Bats are the best on the market, in my opinion. If you guys are looking at prescription sunglasses, they do offer those as well. There's a new frame out called the FL1s, which is floating bats, and they also are they float. So you can get those in prescription or non-prescription, and pretty much any lens style out there. Mossback, there's inverted gradient. There is my favorite, which is blue mirror. It's an absolute favorite. I love the way it looks. It's very fashionable, very stylish, as well as works extremely well on the water. It allows me to keep a lot of the sunlight. My eyes are very sensitive to light the way it is. Like my truck tint on my truck is very, very dark. So I keep it that way because, really bright sunlight affects my eyes really bad. And I don't know if you can see it or not, but I still have a pair of solar bats on all the time. So it's pretty good. So there's Project Haven. There it is. So how many subs do you think you'll have by the end of the year? So that's the deal, man. Like I just said, I have a solid goal of 5,000 subscribers. If I don't have a 5,000 subscriber limit by October, or November when I stop fishing for this year, On Another Line, as you know it on YouTube, will be shut down. I've just come to the determination in my life where I want to try to get as much out of my life as I can, and I spend an uber amount of time working with YouTube and making sure that all my videos are posted and stuff. So my end all goal is 5,000 plus. I want to continue doing this. This is something that I have a passion about. I teach, I teach students just like Eric how to do this stuff. He started a YouTube channel. I have another channel, another student of mine, Nathan McMahon, that started another channel as well. And, I have a passion for this stuff, and it allows me to keep my skills honed, as well as I'm going to be out on the water anyway, right? So it gives me the opportunity to go over and catch some fish and actually create these really cool videos. But, I can do that and keep it to myself and watch it on my TV and have just as much fun. I enjoy building a community with you guys out there. So thank you if you're subscribed to my channel. If you're not, if you're just seeing this for the first time, please consider subscribing there. So that's the deal, man. 5,000 subscribers is a hard goal. We talk about goals and setting goals for your life, as well as setting due dates and deadlines all the time in my classroom. You know that. So that's a due date and a deadline for me. If I don't have 5,000 subscribers by the end of the season, I'm going to put it on the hanger, man. So I appreciate it. So guys, I've been on here for fairly amount of time, 27 minutes. Guys, I appreciate you guys joining us tonight. Next Tuesday, we will have James Cameron Wilt on here talking about a new professional bass fishing league, as well as what he is as a fisherman. David, appreciate it, brother. We need to get together and do some fishing. I know, shout out to David Howard here, guys. If you guys are in my area and need some tile or stonework, hit up David Howard on Facebook. The dude absolutely knocks the stuff out of the ballpark. Makes me jealous seeing all the stuff that he does, because I know I could never do anything like that, and the dude smashes it. So he needs, if you need some tile, stone, or anything like that done, check out David Howard on Facebook. You will not be disappointed, I promise you. So till next time, guys, going to Yatesville Lake tomorrow. You guys will see a video dropping by Thursday on that, if I catch any fish, right? I mean, if I don't catch any fish, it's just going to be me talking like I am now, which you guys probably don't care about. So Yatesville Lake tomorrow. I'm going out early in the morning. It's going to get super hot in here. It's like 95 degrees. The water temperature is going to be probably in the 80s. You're going to see some finesse techniques. I'm going to be fishing that thing like Lake St. Clair. Here's why. I have all my baits tied on for Lake St. Clair, and I don't want to retie them. So I'm going to be throwing a Ned rig. I'm going to be throwing a drop shot. I'm going to be throwing in shaky head. I'm going to be throwing a new Rapala Brat that I just picked up, a 6-foot diving balsa bait that I'm super pumped up about. It thing looks phenomenal. I can't wait to get out there and do that. Maybe potentially throw the tackle box spinner bait, try to catch the fish on that. But what I think I'm going to do tomorrow at Yatesville is I think I'm going to be throwing a giant crankbait on my 906C CBR G Loomis, chunking and winding that thing in timber. 6XD in timber. Am I crazy? Probably. We're going to find out. Usually catch them out there on a 6XD cranking timber, deep timber. You're talking 20, 25-foot crankbait right there, at least 20. Throwing it on 12-pound Sunline FC crank. I'm actually going to put some new line on one of my reels tomorrow. So, guys, I appreciate you guys joining us today for On Another Line Live. Look for a couple more episodes coming out the next few days. Live again next Tuesday. This weekend, Lake St. Clair Smashdown. I'm going to try to go live from St. Clair if we start catching fish. So look for that. And we'll see you guys next time on another line, whether that be live or out there on the water, guys. If you guys can get out there and lean on them, I'd appreciate it. If you would get out there and catch a few, give a few fish some new lip piercings, catch your release when possible. But, if you need to fill your belly up, by all means, please turn those 5+ pound bass loose and catch you some dinks to eat. So anyway, we'll see you guys next time on another line. Get out there and lean on them. We'll see you.